And welcome to the Cool Box Live. I am your host, Eric Tate, alongside my good buddy, Nick Locapo.
Yeah.
We have a great show going on this week.
We're still on the air, man.
This is crazy. We have some fantastic stuff. Hi, everyone out there in Facebook and YouTube land. If you're watching this, you are going to be seeing some great magic. We're going to be dropping some excellent discount codes on you guys. You're going to save a lot of money this week on some magic, but also we're going to find out about some of the hot new magic coming out. And Nick, this is doing well.
What's happening?
We're getting better at this.
Yeah, we have almost like we have a budget or something.
Yeah,
now.
we got TVs behind us. We got projections.
Eric, do we have a guest tonight?
I think we have two guests.
We have two?
We have two. Count them, two different guests this week.
How is this possible?
Yeah, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, no, we have two people that we're going to get to in a little bit,
Yep.
and we also have some, people asked for some specific deals.
Yes, they did. I think one of the things that's the most exciting to me is that I know there's a couple of people who are watching at home who've been asking for deals on books, and we have a deal on a great book this week.
Yeah, so I'm glad we were able to come in on that. We also got kind of a higher end mentalism device a little bit later in the show tonight on discount, which is exciting because we all know that nobody wants to pay full price for that stuff anymore.
Absolutely
right?
not.
So
let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. If you're watching this right now, please be sure to share this on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. Also, Nick and I are monitoring the chat. I'm monitoring Facebook. Nick is monitoring YouTube. So if you have any questions about anything that we're going to be talking about, go ahead, type it in the chat. We will get to your questions. We will answer them. If there's things you want us to talk about in the future, maybe you want to see some unreleased performance footage, because we have a lot of that.
Yeah, that has been a question, and like how long, what's the max length of a performance that we should be showing on this show?
Yeah,
I'm really confused about it.
Do you want to see like a quick trick, or do you want to see like a full 10-minute Bob
Because
Cassidy masterpiece?
we got it. I mean, there's nobody
We have
else.
everything.
We have everybody archived at this point, right? And I would love to share more of it if that's what people want to see on here, right?
Yeah.
So I am genuinely curious about that.
Yep, so I think that covers all of it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Smash that like button, as the kids say.
Yeah.
But Nick, let's move on. Let's talk about some latest and greatest.
Yeah, let's check out the menu.
Let's check out the menu of the week right here. This is what we're going to be talking about tonight. The latest and greatest. We've only got one thing we're going to talk about tonight, but it's a fantastic trick by Chad Long. Then we're going to get to our first guest in the download discounts. The low price lectures are very exciting this week. There's two of them that I'm very stoked about. And then the Cool Box deals of the week. Those are where some serious discounts come in. So before we get to the discounts, let's talk about the latest and greatest. We're going to be talking about Pop Gun by Chad Long. This is an amazing trick that Chad has been doing since 1985.
It's crazy because he only looks like he's like 27, right?
Yeah. Chad Long has always been.
He's forever 27.
This is a really cool trick. You have a card.
Yeah,
You have a card signed, selected, and returned to the deck. The deck is shuffled. The card is hopelessly lost. You then spray those cards into the air, and then you take a little toy like foam dart gun, and you shoot it, and you actually shoot, and it
Shoot the
suctions
signed selection.
out of the air.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Incredible. Shout out to Dalton and Dan Harlan and Jason Ledaney in the background of
Oh
that
my
clip
God,
right
is
there.
that?
which is
Yeah,
pretty
he
funny.
is. That's nuts.
This trick's awesome.
It's so good.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. And we are so thrilled that we got to work on it with Chad because
Yep.
you are going to get
You get a pop gun.
Yeah, you actually get a pop gun.
It's wild.
Pope, maybe we should show on the overhead.
Yep, I think so. Let's go to the single box and take a look at the overhead here.
Yeah, so we got the pop gun, and it does come with the actual gun that Chad uses and some darts as well. Now, I guess that's really all you needed to see. There's really nothing special. It's a legit pop gun. But what was important was that we've got the actual one that Chad uses.
Yes.
Because he's been doing this in his walk-around sets forever.
Yeah.
Literally forever. In fact, I don't know, did you queue up the performance? Or do we
Yeah,
wanna
actually
see
we
it?
do have a performance of Pop Gun that we are going to show you. So take a look at Chad Long performing Pop Gun.
Thank you. That was a squiggle. There we go. You're a very good squiggler. I'm not sure what that means, but you know what? Check this out. Now, Becca, just say stop somewhere for me. Drop it on. Now watch this, fellas. Court, I'm going to bury that twice, okay? There's once, there's twice, all right? Check this out. Oops, almost lost it. Now, Becca, your card's not the top. Did the pin right? That's not it, okay? It was about halfway down. It's not the bottom card either, right? 4 diamonds. It's somewhere in the middle, but watch close, you guys. I'm gonna run my finger along like this. Anywhere you say stop, Becca, I'm gonna put my finger straight down. It'll be the card, it's a very fast trick. It'll be the card you wrote your name on, okay? You got it? We'll give it a shot. I'll be incredibly fair, not like those other guys, right? You've seen those guys on TV, David Blaine, Chris Angel, Copperfield, those amateurs, right? Those hacks. They make you stop at a certain spot. I'm not like that. Becca, just say stop. Perfect. Thank you so much, Becca. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Thank you. That's it. Thanks, sir. I feel great now. You know what? Did the pin right? That wasn't it. That means count down 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 more. Okay. All right. You know what? We're gonna give this a shot. Becca, what was your card? Name it. Hold on again, gang. Hold on. There we go. Check it out. That looks pretty damn good, Becca. There we go. And a souvenir for you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man,
come
what
on.
an insane trick.
What a great
It's so
trick.
good. Isn't there some story about like Chad doing this in a competition?
Yeah, there is. He tells it on the download. Basically, you know, if you're familiar with Chad, first of all, if you've never seen Chad perform anything, he's about to be you're one of your new favorite magicians because he was when I first saw him do literally anything. Chad's one of the best magicians I've ever seen. But apparently, he was in a competition where he tried to do this trick, but like the dart like missed or something. I don't know, but it failed.
Yeah.
Right. But everybody just thought he was being crazy Chad, like zany Chad, like nobody could actually shoot a signed card with a dart gun. That would be insane. They just thought he was like doing it as a joke.
Yeah.
So he just picked up the cards and did it again and blew everybody out of the water, right? Because
good.
like they were like, well, there's no way you could do that, and then he does, right?
It's really really great trick.
The method's easy.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so easy.
This is one of those things that like when you find out the method, you're like, oh God, I wish that I'd thought of this.
Right.
Like it's been sitting out there.
Yeah, why are we bringing? Why it's like why are you bringing the knife to the gunfight, right?
Yeah.
No more stabbing cards. Shoot the damn thing, right? Right. So yeah.
I'm really upset that you got to that line before I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a great trick.
And you can get it right now. It is on discount. It's list price for $40. You can get it for $10. This isn't one of the cool box discounts, but it's because it's brand new, so I know it's at discount right now.
It's brand new, like literally came out this week. The packaging's really fun. The gun's really fun.
Yeah,
the
you can
routine's
do it
really
right
fun.
away. There's almost no sleight of hand. You just need to be able to control a card.
Yeah, I should also say there's a Sharpie routine on this
That's
that is
right.
so good.
Yeah.
That like could have been released as its own download, but Chad teaches it, and you're just like, oh man, like this is amazing.
Yeah, great.
So good.
10 out of 10 on me. I love Pop Gun. I can't wait to do this trick.
Let me just address a couple of things in the chat here. Ling Lee, howdy, glad to see you back in here. And then John Costiel says, this has become my Sunday night ritual, hanging out with friends and spending money. And I think we're okay with that. I think we're okay with that.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Always glad to see you in the chat, John. And of course, let's see. Oh, yeah, just Calvin Wong saying, looks really cool. You are correct.
Yeah,
it is really
no,
cool.
it really, really is.
We're going to move on to the next portion of our show tonight, and I am so excited. We're going to be talking about discount downloads. So from here on out, everything else you're going to see is discounted tonight. Just enter the promo code CoolBoxLive at discount. Let's actually let's throw up the menu to the show again. Let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about here. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of really, really great things, but also we have a special guest, Nick.
In live.
We have the special guest live. The special guest was here today filming a wonderful lecture.
You're a very good squiggler.
All good. We got a special guest live. He was here today filming a wonderful lecture. Talks a lot about performing social media and magic. And when we knew he was going to be here, we said we got to figure out exactly how to get him here in the studio safe. So we're taking advantage of all kinds of precautions, but we're so excited to have him here because he's not just a great performer, but also a true fan of magic. Please welcome to the Cool Box Live, the Magic Crasher.
What? Yes.
Yeah, there's two of me
There's
and one
two
of you.
Erics.
I'm very excited. There we go. Guys, by the way, give a big shout out to Nick Popa for running the stream tonight. We totally changed how the stream was working tonight in order to be able to get the Magic Crasher into the live stream. So, so big thanks to Nick Popa for coming. But Crasher, how'd you like your lecture today?
Amazing. Like, seriously, I cannot wait for you guys to see what we've put together here. Especially, I mean, it answers so many questions that all of you want to know, and that is, how do I properly put magic out on social media? And many others, and probably one of my favorite, which is my favorite trick deck, and you'll learn more about that.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Did you talk about how to get a Magic Crasher windbreaker?
Actually, Eric said the exact same thing, and so did Dan. Actually, guys, this is available on my website at themagiccrasher.com, but you know what? We have to be, self-shameless promoting ourselves, always.
Let me ask you a question. Is your Magic Fanny Pack available at magiccrasher.com?
Oh my goodness, yes, it is. Do I have it with me? And, ready? Ta-da! I do.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's it right there.
Hardcore people still sport the fanny packs.
I'm really excited to have you on because what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be talking about some downloads. We've got some great downloads that are coming up right now. Mr. Popa is jumping in there to reduce the headspace on that beautiful Magic Crasher right there.
There's a lot of headspace there.
No, this is going to be fun. We've got some really, really great downloads that people are going to be able to get at discount, and we're going to be talking about a couple of them. Mr. Popa, if you advance one on the slides, I think that'll actually bring us into our first one right now, which is Bound by Joel Dickinson. This is really, really exciting. Why don't you throw up the quad there so we can take a look at some videos while we talk about this. This is a very, very exciting trick. What you've got going on here, the stream is not cooperating. There we go. Hey! This is a really exciting trick. So this is a card is selected, signed, and lost in the deck. The deck is wrapped up with rubber bands and tape, and then you are able to show your hand completely empty, reach into your pocket, and pull out the selected card. It's super cool. Crasher, is this something you would do on social media?
Absolutely, because with this, the outcome is just impossible. I mean, if you think about it, look at the visualness of that deck being bound by so many different rubber bands, and then yet in an instant, within 15 to 20 seconds, like a video, boom, you can pull their card. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah. You know what I love about this trick is that this is an old trick. This is the type of trick they did in like 1920. You know what I mean? And you read these types of things in some of these older books and you just kind of gloss over it. But yeah, like because of the rubber bands, this is an impossible trick.
When you watch Joel Dickinson do this, like the reactions he gets are crazy in this. Actually, I think we got a reaction coming up here.
The method's cool too.
Yeah, actually, what I like about this is it's actually a two-phase trick. I think that this has often been done as like a one-phase trick, but what's really sick about this is that he does the trick once. Like you see the card go into the deck, you see the deck go into the box, and then he puts it in his box, and then he does the trick. And then he does the exact same thing, but after binding it up with rubber bands and tape.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect trick to do a part 1, part 2 if you were doing like a social media video, because you can literally do part 1 as one video and then part 2, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Would you might even do something like this where like an Instagram TV thing where like it like stops like right before you go to the second phase and then they have to like swipe up and get in there. Am I doing social media right?
You know how to throw those teasers. You know all about the bait. I love it.
Yeah, this is great. The teaching on it's really good. Joel goes into just about everything you need to do. And you could. The other thing is, there's no gimmicks. You can do this with a regular deck of cards. You could even do this with a borrowed deck. I think that's really kind of important.
And you can get it cheap today.
Yeah.
$7.
Enter Coolbox Live at Coolbox Live at checkout. That promo code is good from here on out. Everything else we're talking about, that promo code is good until this coming Friday at midnight. You'll get 25% off of anything that you see in the show.
That's $7. That's $7.46. That's brilliant.
So Crasher's already out $7. So.
I'm like yelling at my girlfriend. I'm like signing when I'm off camera. I'm like, that one, buy that one.
Yeah, right. Add to cart.
Yeah.
All right, what's next, Nick?
Let's move on. Yeah, what is up next? Oh yeah, I have this like sheet in front of me that tells me. I should probably look at it. No, the next one up we got is Very Fair by the Other Brothers. This is one, cool. Okay, what this trick is you have two pieces of paper. One says very, the other says fair. You hand it to a spectator. They're able to look at either one of these. It doesn't matter which one that they look at, and they memorize it. They memorize which word they're thinking of. 100% of the time, you're able to know which word they're thinking of. There's a kicker ending that he also does that he makes the ink on the piece of paper disappear, which is just kind of a nice touch. I think a lot of us are aware of what that type of thing is. But that has nothing to do with what the core method is and the secret behind this, because the secret behind this is really unlike anything else. I can definitely say that. And man, is it clever. I mean, it is playing upon, there's some word games going on here that are,
essentially
reminds me of some stuff that Dan Harlan would do.
Oh yeah, this really is like a Dan Harlan type thing. Like, hey, Crasher, let me ask you a question. How does mentalism play on social media? Like, if I was going to be looking for like a trick to do on social media and I wanted to like try my hand at mentalism, is this something you would do for that?
I would, because again, it's visual. There's something on the cards, and you're giving it to the spectator to actually do. So when it comes to social media, I want something that they can actually do, and it's quick, or you can control if you need to, lengthen it or shorten it. But what's important is that they can see something visual, so there's a visual payoff.
Right.
Oh yeah, I like
ending.
Yeah, so you can turn it around so you can see. I mean, basically, being able to know what someone, like a choice that someone has made, is interesting.
Yeah.
And I can see how like turning that around so camera could like zoom right in on it.
Honestly,
cool.
I kind of feel like the real value here is in the secret.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the trick is fine. I mean, you can watch Daryl do it here, and he gets a fine reaction. But man, the method is like really clever.
Yeah.
Like I had a hard time even describing it out loud to somebody today.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's like really, it's unique in that sense.
Right? And the other brothers do a pretty good job of like teaching their stuff and getting through it and like understanding exactly.
There's a lot more to it too.
Yeah.
Once you learn the core secret, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. But then they go on and show you all sorts of other stuff you can do with it in the download.
And see, that's you're not only paying $7.46 for that, but you also get like multiple tricks to that. And that is like what we're looking for. I mean, because I have to go through so many videos, and because of that, I'm looking for a trick that can get more than one life out of it.
Love it. Right. Well, I think let's move on. I think we didn't have a timer on that one, but I think we talked quite a bit about it.
It's fun.
Let's move on to number 7 this week. I'm so excited to talk about this one. This is a great trick. Change for a 5 by David Regal. I really like this. So essentially what you're getting here is what looks like a 3-card Monty routine, but then of course, Regal just turns it completely on its head. So you've got 2 jokers and a red queen, like the Queen of Diamonds, and you're mixing them around and you're placing bets. And then what you're able to do as the kicker ending to this is you turn over all 3 cards, and there's no longer a queen, there's no longer a joker. Now all 3 cards are 5s. What's so cool about this is there's no palming. I know you're probably thinking like, oh, it's a flap card, or you're having to like do something like really, no. This is something that you're going to be able to do at home, and the handling on it that Regal has figured out is so interesting. Like, because there's almost no sleight of hand. I mean, there's a little sleight of hand, but the sleight of hand is so easy to do. It's just, oh God, this is a good trick.
Yeah.
At that moment and you can see performances of this, of him doing it on the street when you get it, and you are watching people like these 2 guys like freak out so hard when he turns the 5s over, because you don't see the 5s coming from anywhere. It's not like you're bringing cards in and like, oh, let's swap this out and bring this in. It's almost like NFW with
it's a packet trick.
Yeah.
And this is something I would definitely use. I mean, not only in person, but also on social media, and also like in a performance, because who does not know the iconic 3-card Monty?
This is something that you would see Regal do like at the Magic Castle,
No,
and he would destroy you with
This
it.
is one. I believe this is one of David's favorite tricks.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do think. I think if he ranked them, this would probably be on that list somewhere, because is he like the undisputed champ of this show? Do you think he's had the most tricks on this show?
I think
so
he
far?
might. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Regal?
Like,
Yeah.
Regal on this
Yeah.
show. Absolutely. And I hate. We keep turning to Crasher and be like, "Would you do this on social media?" And he's just like, "Absolutely," because
Well, yeah.
he crashes your day and does something wild for you. But also, we picked a bunch of like great tricks that are like perfect social media stuff.
Yeah.
They really are.
Oh,
so good.
This one hits hard,
Yeah.
real hard.
And the other thing is, again, you have everything at home to do this. So
Yeah.
enter the promo code CoolBoxLive at checkout. You get 25% off of Change for a 5 by David Regal. You'll be doing this trick tonight. It's
Add
so
that
good.
one.
Add that one. Up next is a trick called Pseudo by Chris Rollins, one of my favorite mentalists over there in England. And what this is one of Chris's routines that he uses to give the feeling of that he's memorizing a deck of cards in front of his audience. This is a 3-phase memorization routine that kind of increases in power. You start by your spectators mix the cards and they cut off a little pile, and you memorize where the black and red cards are and kind of sort those out, face down, of course. And then you do it with a larger pile. At one point, there's a card that has been removed and isolated from the deck. So at the end of the routine, after you've seen every card but that one card that was isolated, you're able to reveal what that one isolated card, because it's the one card that you
Brilliant.
haven't seen yet, right? So it's this is a solid 3-phase routine that literally anybody can do. There's no memorization really required here at all. Like a minor bit, a very minor bit at the beginning, and all that is just to give a little bit of demonstration as to what your audience should expect. So it's not a lot, but it's just a little bit. After that, you're dealing with very practical methods to give the illusion that you're memorizing an entire deck of cards.
Yeah, there's something really interesting about memorized deck routines, but like not memorized deck routines, memory demonstrations.
Yeah.
100%.
One of my favorite memories of going to a Magic convention is watching Barry Richardson do the magazine test, where he just he does this amazing thing where he like tears a magazine in half and hands the magazines out, and then people are holding up the pages, and he tells them what is on the individual pages, like right down to like he goes, oh, the third paragraph down, the fourth word in is a really luxurious word, because I think he's talking about the word gold or something like that. And the Barry Richardson's method was that he just memorized an effing magazine. It was like that was the trick, and then he was just demonstrating this. With this, you don't have to have super strong memory.
No.
I mean, it's like you can have that apparent amazing memory, and you don't need to put in all of that work, which is so good.
No, there's only a
love
couple
that.
guys I look to when it comes to memory demonstrations, especially, it's not something I know exactly how to perform close up. Crasher, I'd be curious to know if you've done any of these, but Chris Rollins and Marsh, Alexander Marsh.
Oh, yeah.
Those two guys I feel like have a great grasp on performing this stuff in a modern era and like for people at the bar.
Do you do any memory stunts?
So I do actually. I have a stack that I use, but I play it off as memory, and it gets such great reactions
Yeah, okay.
because everyone loves that. What if I had this ability? What if I could go to Vegas? You know, and I just talk about that. I go, now this is the beginning step of being able to count cards at a table is deck memorization, and then I go through it, and they're like, what? But on our end, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
It's I love the idea of not having to put in the work, but being able to get all of the credit.
It's good. It's really good. And for cheap money, if you're interested, check it out. And it might let you, if you do get that needle in your arm there,
Yeah.
go get Marsh's lecture and even Chris Rollins' lectures, all stuff like this. It's all
Super good stuff. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 this week. This is Hide the Colored Ball by Chris Rollins. We had 2 Chris Rollins tricks.
Back to back. Has
Oh,
this
man.
ever happened before?
Wow.
This is some sloppy planning.
Oh no.
This
Chris,
looks cool.
Hide the colored ball is neat. So essentially what you do is you hide a colored ball. Do we need to talk anymore?
Nope, next.
Okay, no. So there's a small ball that you place on a table, and then you get a stack of plastic cups like you would use at a picnic or just like at a party or something like that. You have a couple of different stacks out there, and your audience members hide the colored ball underneath a stack of cups while your back is turned. You're able to tell them 100% of the time where the ball is, and you do it over and over again. Plus, there's a really neat presentation involved where you're writing down different things on the top of the cups. So money, love, friendship, kindness, whatever it is, and they can hide under what means the most to them. So you can also do like a bit of a reading with this. As a kicker ending, Chris reveals that at the very beginning, he predicted the final cup that they would hide the ball under. And the method is really neat.
The method's
on this.
awesome.
The method's great because you don't have to do any work.
No work at all.
like this is definitely up my alley. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh, what? I love party tricks because again, being magicians, we always do a trick. This is grab me cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This feels like a real Magic Crasher type
Yeah,
thing because
yeah.
it's just like you would just like I could
casual.
see Crasher just like grabbing stuff and being like, all right, hide the ball, there it is, there it is, there it is,
Yeah.
and then coming out with some crazy prediction at the end.
So I used to let them know. I mean, it's just you're not like peeking this thing.
No.
You don't. There's no stooge. There's nobody. There's no hidden code.
This one's almost half off at discount.
This
right
is
Yeah.
now.
simple.
Yeah.
$5.59.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're not getting a crazy electronic device in the mail. I think that we should
No.
point that out. This is not electronics. This
No,
is
you could leave the room at the same time, even though there's no electronics. You don't even have to be in the same room as this thing. To know where the ball is, you do. But when they're putting it under the cup, you don't.
And they can change it as many times as they want. It's
Yeah.
not like this isn't one of those like dumb things where you've like
Step on their foot.
You've affixed
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you've like affixed one of your hairs to the bottom of a cup or
No,
something
none of
like
that.
that.
Yeah, none of that. It's
Someone
a
taps.
real method. It's a
Yeah.
real good method.
Super good.
All right, moving right along to the next one, which is Blindsided by our old buddy Oz Perlman.
Who?
Somebody.
I love this one.
Never heard of it. This is a good trick. This is a really good trick. Essentially, it's a color changing deck routine, a full color changing deck, which means that you start with a blue deck of cards, you have a card selected, and at the end of the routine, there's just a really visual moment where the entire deck changes color. It's going to take a second to get there on the video. But really what Oz has here is a great handling of a color changing deck. I used to do Di Vernon's color changing deck all the time. And what I like and dislike about it is it used two selections, but it just uses, there's no gimmicks here.
Yeah.
It just uses, some off-color cards that you need to add to your deck. This is no different, except that it's a stronger, in my opinion, it's a stronger handling in only one selection, right?
This is sort of from that like Penguin era when they were releasing DVDs. And so what you're getting is not like a quick 5-minute download.
The explanation's long.
This is very detailed, lots of live performances, so you see all of the different stuff that Oz is doing. I'm just watching like prime Oz doing some magic tricks
So
before
I think
AGT. This is
you're going to be able to see a visual clip of the actual color change coming up here. It's right after this guy gets on the camera, so everybody at home can see exactly. Yeah, right here. So
nice.
here, take a look at the back of your card. It's red, and then boom, the deck is blue. Right. So it's kind of got like a kickback moment to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like this one because this actually reminds me something that it goes great with like Chicago opener.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. All you need to know here is that this is just an any deck of cards trick.
Yeah.
It's just a great handling.
Yeah,
Right?
there are gimmicks.
There's gimmicks. I mean, I guess we're not giving anything away, but you're gonna add some red cards to a blue deck. Or
Yeah,
vice
Yeah,
versa.
but they're not special.
they're not special in
You're
any
not
way.
having to get like red, blue double backers. You're not getting flap cards or split cards or anything like that. This is a solid.
And it's not hard. I mean, the hardest move in here is, I think, a slip cut.
Oh. Well, I'm in. I can do that all day long.
Okay, so again,
Can we say slip cut on here?
I think we can say slip cut on here. Enter Coolbox Live at discount. You'll get this for $7.46. This is great. That's even down from the original list price. That's
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
a great price.
Let's move on to number 11 this week. This is the 10-card poker deal presented by Luke Germain and Matt Johnson. This is really interesting because this is a 10-card poker deal that originally came out. I think you were talking about how this is.
This was my first Penguin download that I
Yep.
bought.
We did
Look
this
at Luke. Look at Luke.
Oh man, we did this last week where like $2 window was like my first one. This was yours.
Yeah, this is definitely the first download I ever got him.
This is Magic, before I start talking too much about this, Crasher, what was your first Penguin download?
Do you even know?
My first Penguin down. Yes, Matt Johnson with the finger through pin.
Oh, that's
the pin through finger?
Pin through finger? That's a
Pin-
great
With
trick.
the card.
I love that trick.
That's such a good trick.
Dude, like, I don't know if it was free or if it was $1, whatever it was. It's one of those things that, again, hey, do a trick. Cool, you got a pen?
Yeah.
Likelihood there is. And I probably have a card on me.
So
And it's
good.
a great trick.
Okay, so I do have to tell you guys about the 10 card poker deal. This is really great because the method is really simple. It's very straightforward. This is one of those 10 card poker deals where you can predict who's going to win and you can actually control if you win or your spectator wins. This is not one where you predict the outcome, such as like, oh, I'm going to have four of a kind or a royal flush or anything like that. However, this is insanely fair.
Yeah.
And what you're getting for your value here is you're getting, I mean, look at the crazy discount. Is that $3.71?
You're seeing that right, man.
Yeah, so the discount on this is way more than 50%. It's super good. Like if you don't take advantage of this deal, you're crazy. So what you're getting is a really in-depth tutorial from Luke Germain, but then you also get an additional download from Matt Johnson where Matt goes through the variations of it that he does, using the same method that Luke teaches you in detail and how to get into this, how to get out of it. Really, really solid. I'm glad that this is in the Cool Box this week because this reminded me of, I mean, this is like one of those that's like gonna go back into my working repertoire.
It's a great, fantastic handling. I remember when I first learned this secret, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
And I was also blown away today when I was putting that image together of the price.
Yeah.
Because I believe right now it's down to $5, and then you're going to take 25% off that, basically. So it's something
And
like that.
I do need to add on poker stuff
Yeah.
real quick, gentlemen. It is a great piece to have when you are doing corporate events because not a lot of the time when you're doing corporate magic do people get into card tricks really flashy, but if you can relate to, because everyone in corporate world plays poker.
Yeah.
So if you do that, I love poker demonstrations for that reason.
It's a really, really good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Actually, I'm getting something here in the chat from Ling Lee. Nick, you might be able to answer this. Blindsided, is it fully examinable at the end? Is it completely unclean?
He teaches you how to end clean.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to be difficult at all to clean that deck up.
Yeah, because you're only dealing with like a couple of extra normal cards.
Yeah.
So you could really easily clean it up by like putting the deck back in the box
Yeah.
and then like uncasing. So
Yeah, you're going to get such a big reaction off the color change. You just hand that, it's
Yeah.
one of these
Yeah.
old things, but-
Ling, you've been in the chat long enough, and I've seen some of the stuff that you've been like, yep, I'm buying that you're going to have no problem cleaning this
Yeah,
up.
no, for sure. Yep.
Let's move on.
Yeah, move. Oh, next one's for me there. Next one. It's one of our favorite creators, Paul Gordon. This is head-to-head poker. Again, we got two poker tricks back to back.
Yeah.
We got a 3-card Monte trick as well.
It's a gambling week.
Man, I want to go
week.
gamble.
Gambling. Well, let's find the aces this week. Okay, so this is it feels like a poker deal a little bit, but it's not. Essentially, what's happening here is that the spectator shuffles the deck and you count out 10 cards off the top, and you deal the cards face down, and you're just offering cards for the spectator to choose for their poker hand. The choices are very fair. They choose whatever one. It's not like they point to one and I get the other one. No, it's whatever one they point to. And at the end, you can see here on the video that the spectator's choosing which cards they want and what cards go to Paul. And at the end, the spectator's going to end up with, I don't know, a couple pair, maybe a pair of aces or something. Not a great hand. And then when Paul turns his hand over, he's going to end up with a royal flush. We're ahead of it verbally here, but you'll see it happen on the clip at some point. As everything with Paul Gordon, this is just a great handling.
Yeah.
A fantastic handling on how to essentially force that poker hand on your spectator and how they will choose the poker hand for you.
You know what I like about this is that if you know this, then it gives you another way to do a 10-card poker
Sure,
deal.
yeah.
And I don't know. So Crasher, I don't know what your what your filming process is, but I have to imagine that occasionally, like you're out there, you're filming a trick and something goes wrong, and so you need to have another method in your back pocket to be able to get out of it, but still get usable footage.
Absolutely.
And I can only imagine that like sometimes just like being able to do another 10-card poker deal like back to back with another one, you could definitely routine these together. You would have to like switch cards or do some, or like switch packets or find a good reason to do that, or even like redeal. But being able to like do a 10-card poker deal and another 10-card poker deal with different methods will really mess with people.
Oh, 100%. And it sets up, I was just thinking, what if you combine Regal, talk about gambling, start with the Regal trick, and then go into predicting winning hands, and then into the ultimate mother of all hands, the royal flush.
Yeah.
Man, this
brilliant.
is just like all we're doing right
He's
now.
got a
is
show. He's got a
There you guys
he's got a
go.
new show over
Poker
there.
show. Take it.
the Magic Crasher poker show. I want to see that. Moving on to number 13 this week. We're not doing numbers anymore. Why do we keep doing that?
I don't know. It's because I put them on there, but I don't know how else to organize them.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have a better idea on how we can organize this show, let us know in the chat. Moving on this week, Dark Triumph by Nate Cranzo. I love this trick. This is
Good
super
trick.
cool. This is one that I actually need to eat some crow on, because when Nate showed it to me, I was like, that's garbage. And then we took it out into the real world, and he wrecked people with this. I'm a believer in Dark Triumph now. This is super cool, because what this is Nate has figured out a way to put the Triumph shuffle in the spectator's hands. So they're shuffling cards face up and to face down. They're doing the cuts. They're doing the shuffles. They bring the packet out. They can spread it, and it is sorted out, and the only card facing the other direction is the spectator's cards. This is one of those that it's really easy for you as a magician to look at the method and sort of know what's going on. But when you start to get the performance tips from Nate Cranzo in this, it'll dramatically improve the way you do something. This is so good. And of course, Nate's an amazing teacher. And so when you start to get into all of the different minutia in this, you have such a strong Triumph. Especially, I've actually used this at some walk-around gigs where I've done some of my more like fiddly, beautiful, like really complex shuffling Triumphs, and then I follow up with Dark Triumph by putting Dark Triumph in their hands, and it just totally amplifies it. So it's a great way to do another Triumph where you can give it to the spectator and put it in their minds, and put it in their hands.
Yeah, it's kind of holy grail.
I love tricks like that. I mean, the Triumph is a classic, but for the spectator to be able to do it, that just blows off anything that you may have seen before. I mean, every time someone goes, I saw a trick where people, and they would always describe Triumph. Well, then if I can go right off of that into this one, Dark Triumph, and say, oh, you've seen this. Well, here, let's do something different. Let's do it blindly. And it still comes off. I mean, that's way more powerful.
There's no gimmick here.
No, this can be done with a borrowed deck. It can be done with a shuffled deck in use. This is really good. And this is the cool part too, is like, look at that display. I mean, he's got those cards back. Like, there's no doubt that those cards are back to back as they get shuffled.
I forgot about this trick. I remember because we filmed it, and I'm like,
yeah, because
this
we
is a good
filmed
trick.
this the same night we filmed that trick with the ball.
That's
Oh,
unbelievable.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl. We filmed that. Yeah, and I mean, Nate was wrecking hard that night. It was so good.
Moving on. Oh man, this is one of my favorite over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Next up is Fortune Tarot by Woody Aragon. And I'll kind of talk you through, because I want everybody to understand what this trick is. She just cut off a pile from the deck. Now, Woody's telling her, you can have more cards if you want. And she does. She adds a couple more cards. So right now, nobody knows how many cards she's cut off from the top of the deck. Nobody can. Woody's, you're going to give the cards a shuffle, and then you're going to let the spectator shuffle them face up and face down. And the spectator genuinely shuffles the deck. Look, it's in text right there. Face up and face
Then it
down.
must be true.
Yeah, it must be true.
Well, what's happening is we put that in text over that because the spectator does a really sick zero shuffle.
So from there, what he lays out, basically what he's doing is laying out a magic number square here. It's a 3x3 square. And he's going to turn the cards over one at a time. And he's going to add them up. If you're not familiar with what the magic square is, it's basically you're adding the numbers up left to right, like the top row, the middle row, the bottom row. And in this case, that number, whatever it adds up to, is the same. So vertically, horizontally, middle row, top row, left, right, doesn't matter. It's all the same number. And in this case, I forget what the number actually is.
Yeah, it looks like
So
it's
that's
11.
a trick in itself, right? That's really impressive.
11.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then there's a kicker ending. And the kicker ending is whatever that number is that they've just discovered is the same number of cards that she cut off from the deck at the beginning.
That's bonkers.
That's cool.
Right. And the best part is this is basically self-working. There's nothing else to say.
So John Bannon came here, excuse me, John Bannon came here last year to film a lecture and to film like 20,000 downloads with us.
Yeah.
And all John talked about
Was this
trick. John had like just seen Woody somewhere. I don't know if they worked at a convention or I don't know. You know, Woody like travels around the world and is like, I'm going to session with you for fun. But I was like, John, what's the coolest card trick you've seen lately? And I think he talked for like an hour and a half about Fortune Tarot.
Wow.
Crash, you hadn't seen this trick until today, right?
Correct. And I'm all about it because I love doing Magic Square big version, for like corporate gigs and stuff. But this, I just realized watching it again, this is literally that Magic Square, but done with cards and done in the spectator's control.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Spectator control.
It's a madness trick.
Yeah.
It really is. The method's so satisfying. You're
Yeah.
gonna love it. Get that, and it's cheap too, because it's normally 20. You get it for 15.
Yeah.
It's like-
Oh man, I think when we start to get to the end, we're like, what are you gonna buy? I think that
This is a
that
this is
might
a
be it for me.
fuller. Yeah.
All right, let's move on though. This is another one from the Penguin Vaults, going way back in the Penguin history. This is Clutch by Oz Perlman. High stakes card retrieving right from Oz's show. This is very similar to Bound, and actually, if you purchase Bound, you are then referred to Clutch as sort of the grandfather of this trick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he credits O's. I think he got permission from this. Bound is a little bit different. This is if you like Bound, but you want to learn a million other ways to do it, Clutch is the way to go. Oz goes deep into different ways to control the cards, different ways to secretly get the thing out of the box. He treats it as a one-phase, like, check this out, if I was a master pickpocket, this is how I would do it. This is really a nice sort of complement to Bound. You could totally do Bound by itself with that download, but if you wanted to sort of expand your ability to do Bound under a wider variety of circumstances, Clutch is the way to go. This is one that I regret not getting when I was younger, because I always looked at this and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. This would have been like in my act for years if I'd purchased this back when it originally came out.
Yeah, just like Bound and just like Blindsided, great card trick that you should know how to do. Because you
Now-
can whip this out in any scenario.
This is an absolute perfect trick I would do on social media for the simple reason of you don't need to capture the whole beginning of it. You can literally say, your card is inside here, it's shuffled up, I'm gonna place it in your pocket, ready? Boom. And like ninja, you pull it, and that right there is enough visual, because when you get that close and it happens literally in the person's pocket, on social media, I'd be sitting there going, did he just pickpocket him? Is he that good? It's a great opener to what if pickpocketing couldn't happen like that?
Yeah.
The other thing that's really nice about this one is that with Bound, the deck is in your control and the card is kind of under your control the whole time. With Clutch, I don't know if you guys noticed this from watching that, but Oz goes, pick a card, all right, sign it, take it back, here, shuffle it. Look, my hands are empty. So there's some stuff going on here where you could apply it to Bound to really up your game, but out of a shuffled deck, really cool.
Yeah.
It's a great trick. Well, let's move on to the last download that we got this week.
Hang on, I got something from the
question?
chat. This is really important.
Okay.
I asked the chat, how should we organize this?
Yes.
The chat has responded.
Did they say quit?
No, they said rather than numbering the tricks, use categories like this week's Houdini trick for the show-offs or the Pen and Toa trick for this week for the Rebels. We're already doing that. We've got the download discounts. We've got the.
Okay.
I like that. George, you're speaking our language. We love it, buddy. But let's move on.
Way to go, George.
Well, last but not least is our friend from the only magician in Rhode Island, I think. No, that's probably not true.
No, there's 8 people in Rhode
There's-
Island,
yeah,
and
well,
one of them is a magician.
And the best magician in Rhode Island, who knows? Anyway, we love Matt Mello, and this is his trick, Pulse Rate. What this is, like everything with Matt, it's unique, okay? You're going to make a prediction of the spectator's pulse rate per minute, the beats per minute of their heart. You write it down before anything happens. You fold it up, you give it to the spectator. They put it in their pocket. You then take your spectator's pulse, and you pull the prediction out. And as you can see from this guy, it matches. What do we get there? 64 beats per minute. Wow. And, the method on this is, okay, have you downloaded many Matt Mello? Have you watched many Matt Mello downloads?
I have.
I have.
His downloads, his methods are always unique, and this is no exception. What the method on this is far beyond what you might guess that it is.
Yeah.
And it's clever enough that it is definitely worthy of you watching it. Okay.
Crasher, you said you watched a lot of Matt Mello tricks?
Yes, well, actually, one in particular, the invisible ball, I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, another example of a great method.
The invisible ball was Matt Mello?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was just telling him I love to combo that with bounce, no bounce. And just like Matt just does the weird stuff like this, I would combo with the old Dillinger's way of being able to stop your heartbeat, right, as a demonstration, and then go into how to predict someone. I mean, this is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, and the method is going to work every time. This isn't something that you have to, this works.
Matt is irritatingly good.
Yeah.
I'm just like mad how clever he is.
Yeah.
And you could even take the prediction that he predicts and actually associate that to a page in a book or et cetera, and do that one more extra step for something.
I love the idea of like getting a word in a book from someone's heartbeat.
Right?
All of Mello's methods are good. Yeah, our other special guest, don't say anything yet, but like or maybe you know, did the sponge ball with the needles come out? Did we put that?
We should be going back live again shortly.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the restream.
Okay. What happens when this happens?
Actually, it doesn't really happen.
This hasn't happened.
Hasn't happened in a while. It must be the wind.
I predicted there would be so many viewers on my episode that
Should be coming back up here.
Are we going to be straight live or is it 2 minutes?
Yeah, we are live. We are back again live.
All right. Looks like the stream might have, the stream got crashed.
Hey!
Stream got crashed.
Yeah.
So are we back live?
Yeah, I think we are back live. I'm seeing Penguin Live right now. Are we?
They bring up YouTube and I'll get the people on there. So
Yeah, I'm thinking. Let's see. Yep, actually, yeah, I see us coming back live. Hey guys, sorry about
cool.
that.
We are live.
We
Don't know.
the stream just crashed on us. We
Yep,
don't. That was really weird.
There's the obvious joke in the room, but yeah, it's
Of course, we would have the stream crash.
no,
during the
but
match.
having the crasher is a positive thing. That
Yeah.
no
Yes.
good. Having the crash here is great. But yeah.
But thanks for sticking with us. I see a lot of you here, but we were talking about Mark DiTullio is asking if
Yes.
you could do
You could.
if you could do pulse
The
rate
method
virtually.
is so interesting that you could.
The only caveat I would say to that was that this was released well before the world was on fire. So there's not going to be an instructions on how to do it virtually. So you'll have to come up with that method on your own. But you're a smart guy, Mark. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it's just the only thing that you're not missing out on it. It's just that it is so strong that the prediction that you write, had nothing to do with the prediction. The prediction that you write down is the prediction of their heart rate.
It's so good.
Right? So you don't have to switch it or anything like that.
Well, that's going to do it for the download discounts. And thanks so much to Magic Crasher for joining us for this. But before we go, Magic Crasher, we have a surprise for you.
We have a present.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but do you see? No.
Is it me?
Yeah,
No,
Nick's
it's
gonna
me.
have to
It's
do
me.
it. Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So do you see what Nick's pointing to right there?
Yeah.
That's Matt Mello.
Yeah, that's Matt Mello. That's his Magitar. And you know that when you lecture here at Penguin Magic, you get a Magitar. So, Mr. Popa, can we bring up the Crashitar?
Dude! Oh my gosh, yes! Oh my gosh, that is the most, you guys got the tattoos right and everything.
We literally got that done right before, right after your lecture was done and right before we were able to come up with the stream. That came through the feed, and so we wanted to surprise you with it.
Bro, guys, you have no idea, like, if I could cry, but I can't because I'm not human, I would. But wow, dude, you guys nailed it. That's me. Like, I actually feel like I made it.
We probably can't get rid of it now. It's definitely crashed the screen. Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
guys, that's
Yeah.
epic.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, we've had a blast with you today. We're excited for your lecture to come out, and we can actually do these virtually. So with you at home, so we'll have you back on again. So when we don't have you in the studio, we can have you crash the stream virtually. Is that
I would
something?
be down, especially this type of stuff, because I'm all about not only discounts, but I'm all about the new magic and what's out there. I need ideas, so this is amazing.
Yeah.
So before we move on to the next thing, where can people find out about what the Magic Crasher is doing? Check out Magic Crasher's magic, and
So you guys-
what are the socials, as the kids would say.
Well, let's see, everything. The Magic Crasher on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, just at The Magic Crasher. Like the Wedding Crasher, but instead of crashing your wedding, I'm crashing your day.
Fantastic. Well,
Right on.
thanks so much for being on with us. It is
Thank you,
time
guys.
for us to move on. You enjoy the rest of your time in
Yes.
Columbus and have some safe travels home. Mr. Popa, we are going to be moving on to the lectures right now.
Yeah, this is why this show has been one of my favorite parts of this show. Has been able to dive into some of the lectures because I think we're of the same opinion. The lectures are the best value in Magic.
Oh yeah, no question.
If you're not familiar with what we film here at Penguin Magic, we do weekly lectures. We had the Magic Crasher here this week to do a lecture, but we've been doing them now for, man, it's almost 7 years or so.
There's more than 300 of these at this
And,
point.
yeah.
There's so many of these, and I mean, there's the really great thing about these downloads is that there are people who are huge names. So you've got like the Jason Ledanis, the Jason Englands, Darren Brown did one.
Yeah.
You've got there's.
Well, we got arguably one celebrity on this week's,
Yeah.
right?
But
And,
the other cool thing about these lectures is that you can like meet your new heroes in Magic. I mean, we've used these lectures to introduce to the Magic world some magicians that you may have never heard of before, and they've done some phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
The one that we did recently that just comes to mind is Jeremiah Zuo.
Right.
A lot of people. He was kind of underground. A lot of people knew who he was, but man, the Penguin community really needed to learn some stuff from him because that was so good.
Well,
let's move on though. Let's talk about this.
yeah, let's
this
talk
week.
about
This
Jared
is
Koff.
Jared Koff.
Let's not spend a ton of time on these because I know that we do have another guest here
Yeah.
tonight, and but I do want to tell you what's great about each particular lecture and that you can get them on discount, right? So, first up we got Jared Koff. Now, man, there's a lot you can say about Jared. His card work is second to nobody.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved his lecture because what he focused on is kind of not, I don't want to say basics because that doesn't do it justice. He's like kind of just going through simple things that you can do to improve your card magic. Like you lecture on the double lift, right?
Yeah.
Jared is kind of doing that here. Like, let's
Yeah.
talk about some great tricks. Like right now, here's like a spectator cuts to the aces. But just watch the way he handles the cards. Everything is gentle. Like we're talking the tilt move here. And he's doing classic card effects. To go through some of the sleights that you'll use, multiple table shifts, push through, pull through shuffles, the flop shuffle. And then he also teaches some great card effects like the Copenhagen card, open display of a triumph, Merlin's lost ace trick, Marlowe's one-handed riffle up, and mentalism with cards. Because this is like, I mean, if you know anything about Jared now, he's deep in the mentalism pool.
Yeah.
I think this was his transitional stage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Jared, but I don't know him that well. But it seems like he was just kind of starting to scratch the surface of that. When he performs for corporate, he's definitely a mentalist. Like he's doing card magic and mental card magic. And some of this stuff is impossible. No method, no move stuff.
Yeah.
Killer material.
Really good.
Yeah. Like I said, let's not spend too much time on these other than, man, it's Jared Koff at discount.
Jared Koff is, he's brilliant. I mean, every time I see something come out for him, I know I snap it up because he's one of those guys who like really,
Oh, man.
when you start studying Magic, Jared's one of the modern masters that you want to look up and you want to spend time with because he's taken some of this stuff that was really figured out by the old masters, and he's gone even further with it and taken advantage of a lot of the new theory, a lot of the new moves to really push it.
There's a card trick in here
Yeah.
that is at the end when he's sitting with Dan.
Yeah.
That is a pseudo tarot reading with cards. And I gotta say, like, honestly, his framework for that presentation has influenced, let's say, half a dozen routines that I've done. His thinking behind that one trick, like, just blew my brain apart, and it actually made the leap into my own work. There's something in here for you. If you do card tricks, there's something in here. You're gonna learn something in this lecture.
This is really good. But
Yeah.
let's move on to the next one, number 19.
Yeah.
This is another one that I know has really affected you.
Yes. And again, we've had a lot of Bob Cassidy stuff on over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
This is Bob really at his finest. This was, the first time we had Bob on the
This is
Penguin Live.
right before he starts to go full supervillain.
Yeah, he was growing the hair out there, but he didn't have it out yet, right? Like, but this is where you're gonna find his classic stuff, like name and place, fourth dimensional mind reading. I forget the entire title of that sometimes, but because everybody says 4D at this point.
Yeah.
He teaches an add a number, his stuff on remote viewing, 21st century, doing mentalism in the 21st century, and just jumps from topic to topic. Dan and Bob and the audience in this lecture have an absolute blast. So what are the takeaways here? You're going to learn stuff that you can use, okay? His mentalism routines are not like pipe dream stuff. These are things that will work in the real world, in real shows. And oh man, I forgot about the card reading stuff, the card calling routine.
Card calling routine is really, really
Yeah.
good. I do card calling as well, and this is like one of the better ones out there.
Well, it's just because he understands the structure of it. Like even like you'll see that he was in front of the two people and he puts them behind. He goes into depth on all of that. But you know, like it's just the real value is seeing Bob Cassidy perform live.
Yeah.
That's where the real value is. I mean, his methods will fool you. And at some level, I think Cassidy is still a little underground, weirdly. But his commercial routines that anybody can do are in this lecture. Some of them have been pulled out. You can learn Name and Place as a separate download on Penguin Magic.
Yeah.
But like, man, these are the best lectures.
Yeah.
Like we've
Some
talked about one of the best card lectures and one of the best mentalism lectures here tonight, and they're both on discount.
Let's move on to the third lecture we're going to talk about, which is one that I really love because I was here for the filming of this. And when you want to talk about like great card lectures, great mentalism lectures, I was at this. This is one of the great comedy lectures. This is Harry Anderson live. This is a phenomenal, deep talk about what made Harry Anderson such a great street performer and such a wonderful actor. He goes into a lot of different stories about how he got where he was getting, and he also teaches magic. So this is his street Monty routine that he teaches you not only how to do, but if you wanted to make it, because he talks about like all of the really great tricks that he was originally making. Making by hand, he talks about them. If he doesn't explicitly say how he made them in the lecture, Gang of Four, he basically reveals the method so that you could make it yourself if you wanted to. It's not easy to make it yourself, but you could. He talks so much about like the early days on Saturday Night Live. He goes really deep in on how the 100-foot rope tie with his wife works, which is interesting because he's not really talking about the method because the method is really simple. What he goes into is, if you've ever seen Harry Anderson do the 100-foot rope tie with his wife would be tied to a chair by the biggest guy in the room with a 100-foot rope, and then he would be in a straitjacket, and then he would escape from the straitjacket while she escaped from the 100-foot rope. And it was a race, but he like knocks her over and kicks her into the orchestra pit, and he breaks down why that works and how it works and how it was able to be funny and why it wasn't just like going so far over the line. He tells some really, really phenomenal stories about behind the scenes on Saturday Night Live, opening for Kenny Rogers. The magic is good. The history is good. Yeah, it's really good. And actually, before we move on, I wanted to play a performance from this. It's not a performance of a trick. It's just a story that Harry tells. And it's a really great story about another magician, but it's also a really great story about how one of the things that made Harry so great was that he was able to pick up on situations and roll with them. And hearing the way he rolled with this is just like, oh, perfect Harry.
Cool.
Ms. Popa, can we play this?
I think I remember Martin Lewis talking about performing with you in the early days at a particular
Earthquake
venue.
Magoon.
Yeah, that was it.
You know how I met Martin Lewis? This was wonderful. Martin is a wonderful friend, and we've been through a lot together. But I went to Earthquake Magoons, and I had a broken jaw. And I don't know if I quite had that yet.
Was that a particular, was it more of a comedy club or just a variety?
It was magic.
Okay.
You know, they had a place called the Magic. Well, upstairs was jazz, but more of a
Dance.
Dixieland kind of jazz. Then downstairs was a place called the Magic Cellar, and that was the first. I guess I'd been to the castle. No, yeah, I'd been. Maybe I don't know. But I walked into the Magic Cellar to check it out, and this guy on stage, Martin Lewis, who at that point was very British, and just kind of new to the States, but brilliant. I mean, really, just his dad, Eric Lewis. I mean, look at that heritage. But he was so British, and he was on stage, and he did the linking rings, 7-ring set, Symphony of the Rings, some variation like that. 7-ring set, and he did the linking and all. And then he handed out every single ring for examination. And he had none. He handed, and he did it by handing, he had seen me perform on the street. He handed me the key. And I went, but when I saw him, I mean, that moment I thought, that would talk about an epiphany. I thought, how smart is this guy? That was so, I mean, of the moment, you know. I made myself known to him, and we get along quite well.
Yeah, he's a great performer. I've always enjoyed seeing him.
Man, what a really wonderful story from Harry Anderson, and it's a really, really good lecture that I think everyone should check out.
Yeah,
It's good. And it's a discount too.
Just for the historical, I mean, the lecture's amazing.
Yeah.
But like, if you didn't realize, I mean, the guy was on, I mean, this is one of Magic's cherished stars.
Yeah.
Right? And he spills all the work.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear awesome stories. This lecture also, I believe, still currently holds the record for curse words.
Yes, it definitely does. I was watching it last night. There's some salty language in this one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has broken that mark.
No.
I think Bob came close. There's a lot of swearing in Bob's lecture, but this one is on another level.
He talks about how he got the gig on Night Court and how he replaced another actor. That story is really funny. There's the behind the scenes stuff on SNL is really good because it was at a weird time in
Seeing
SNL.
all those things like the grappler,
Yeah.
you know, like all that stuff's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not familiar with Harry, first of all, if you're not familiar with who Harry Anderson is,
Yeah.
YouTube right now,
Yeah.
and then consider checking out his lecture.
The other thing is if you're interested in putting together your own show or you want to get better at like creating magic and making it like play for audiences, the whole lecture is really about this idea of what the conceit of your trick is. And hearing Harry break it down, you start to really understand where the grappler came from, where the Monty came from, the whole understanding of Harry the Hat and how all that worked.
So good.
And it's a masterclass in comedy writing and comedy construction for magic. It's well worth it. But we have to move on.
Matthew Lewis.
Matthew Lewis has got a question?
Antero. He doesn't have a question, but he has a point. He says he's waiting for some giveaways. I mean, you know, we're giving away stuff for a cheaper price.
Yep.
But I don't blame him.
No,
You
I
know,
think we could do some giveaways.
I think we got that within our capability.
Tell you what, it was
Matthew Luis Antero.
Matthew Luis. Here's what we will do. We cannot do the giveaways right now.
No.
But mostly because one of the things that we're about to show you guys the copy of is mine, and I'm not going to give it to you. But tell you what we will do is we will figure out a way to do giveaways on the show, if not next week, the week after.
Yeah, because I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should too.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a good way to do some giveaways.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the featured deals of the week. This is very exciting because we are going to be giving away some really, really good discounts. And the first one,
I guess if there's anything to say, it's just we talked about downloads.
Yep.
We've got a small, get some nice they're already a bargain.
Yeah.
But you're going to get to save some money on those. Now we got some bigger items that you can really save some money on.
I'm real excited about this because we're going to talk about a couple of things that I think flew under the radar a little bit for some people that are super good. And the first one that we're talking about right now is Frankendough by Roddy McGee. This is, we got one here.
Yeah,
yep,
it's on
over
your
here.
side.
It's on me.
Take the door, take it.
By Roddy McGee. This
And
is a
open it up and see
very
what's inside it. Weird, I know I'm gonna.
Let's bring it in right now. I think I saw the script.
Fine, but watch.
I'm proud to introduce.
Take the door, take it.
Our
An
guest here.
object
This is very
in the
exciting.
magician's hands,
We're going to be
a ball
talking
of innocent
to
dough
Sean
appears to
Dunn.
come
Sean
to
Dunn sitting over there
life,
in
reach
the
out and
creator's
engulf.
corner.
The dough is immediately
Hi, Sean. How you
handed
doing?
out. The signed coin is found impossibly
anywhere,
buried
man.
inside.
Yeah.
This is
Initials on this side
So
for me.
we got some stuff going on right now.
show you
Mr.
something
Pope is
weird,
running
right?
around and
Something
fixing the
back.
stream because right now that video
Now I
that's
have
playing
another
is
thing
actually
here in my
something that's
pocket.
picking up, the
Yeah,
archaeology
It's called
of it.
Magic
It's
Dough.
fine.
Would you mind taking this
Which is totally
and
cool.
just rolling it?
Thanks
into
again
a
for
ball
taking
for
care of
me?
the stream, Pope. He's
That's
running around like a
cool.
ninja. I wish you could see it from our side.
So
We
watch
should make
this.
him run in front of the camera just so they can
So don't
see
take
it.
your
Yeah,
eyes
we
off
should- we
this
really
penny.
should.
You see the
This
door
is
there?
this is a great trick.
Fucking whale's
Franken
gonna
dough by
happen,
Roddy
just have to wait for a
McGee.
moment.
This is so exciting. So what this is
Did you see it?
little hand
Take the door, take it,
but it actually
and
like,
open it up, see what's
Yeah,
inside.
it's a ball of clay that comes to life and steals a coin.
Yeah, you borrow one from your spectators, you have them sign it, you sign
Wait,
it,
and I was
you
gonna-
produce a ball of clay. The coin, you roll
And
the ball of
open it
clay
up and see
into
what's
a
inside it.
ball. You roll the clay into a ball in your hand, then you put the coin on your hand, and the
That's yours.
little
That's your
clay hand
thing.
comes out.
It is.
A little clay hand comes out and
I
grabs
told you it was
your
weird,
coin.
right? I told you it was weird.
When you open your hand,
And on that bombshell.
still in your hand.
My name is
You
Roddy
hand the ball
McGee,
of
and
clay to
this
your
is
spectators.
Franken Dough.
They open it up, and the signed coin is inside the ball of clay. This is nuts. This
Yeah.
is so good.
Take it, Roddy McGee.
Take the door, take it, and open it up and see what's inside it. Wait, and I was gonna.
I'm going to interrupt it real quick. Scott, you
watch.
did not miss the book special in the very beginning.
Take the door, take it.
Coming up.
It's coming up. The book special is coming up.
In the
We're talking
magician's
about Franken
hands,
Dough right now.
a ball of
This is-
innocent dough
man, this
appears
is
to
such a
come
cool
to life.
Yeah.
Reach out.
I
and
got a hold of this last year, and I did this at every one of my Christmas gigs. And every time I did this at the Christmas gig, gasps. Like solid, strong, crazy reactions.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is if you've done Little Hand, you know that reaction that it gets, right? Which is like a very surprising reaction when that little tiny hand comes out. And then, you know, like arguably the reaction to the little hand is always stronger than the coin, because the coin vanishing is just kind of a gag, right? But what Roddy's added is an actual ending to the trick, right? Where you get to reel everybody back, and the signed coin ends up in the clay, right? So like you're getting that extra ending, Sean, right?
Yeah, and I think what is really cool about that is you create this moment, this weird moment, and it's almost like you can hear a pin drop when you're performing it because there's so much focus and attention on like what's going to happen, and then when it happens, it's funny.
Yep.
It's funny, then it's amazing. Then the reason the reaction with the clay is not as strong, I think, is because it's so impossible. And I think that it's just an astonished reaction where they're just like, what? you
Yeah.
know.
Open it up. Show them what they get.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Popa, can we go over to the overhead here so we can take a look at Franken Dough? What you get, this is super exciting right here. So you get a little tiny hand, which is really, really great. This is sized really interestingly so that you can get this on most people's fingers. And if your finger is a little small for it, there's, I believe Roddy actually teaches you everything you need to know.
Yeah, you can size that up.
Yeah, you can size this up if you need to. And then this is really exciting right here. This is the clay. And what's really great about this clay is that you can bring it back to life. So this particular clay right here, you know, you can pull this out, ball it up. If your clay dries out, there's a way to bring it back to life so that you're not having to like find different clay. And then once this is in like good working condition, which again, Roddy teaches you how to get it like to the prime malleability. You just add a little bit of water and massage some water into it. And then what's really nice is you can keep it in your pocket, bring it out. I like to keep it in the little tub and introduce it that way. But if it dries out, you're not out the clay. Like you could do this with any little ball of clay that's the same color as the hand, but Roddy teaches you how to bring this clay back to life over and over and over again, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, I think I just like that it comes with everything you need to get started. And that clay is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That type of clay.
I've noticed too, and it matches color really well. And I don't know why this is important, but the hand looks funny. Like the shape of it looks cartoonish, almost like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And that always gets a fun reaction.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great trick.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy with this thing.
Like it's more playful than the baby arm coming out, which is, you know.
Well, yeah, and it just has extra phase, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if this has ever struck your fancy there, you can get it for $10 off tonight.
$10, man, like $10 off for Little Hand is really, really good deal. It's sick.
Yeah, that's no brainer.
See in the chat here. It looks like we did have some video and audio issues, but they seems to sort themselves out. We apologize for that. The internet's a weird, wild place, but we're
Well, you know, we're always challenging ourselves on this show, and tonight we had some extra guests and some new frames. And
yeah. I think because that's one of the things is I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but we've never had 3 people on like this before. We're getting some real CNN, MSNBC. We know that they're about to go all out with their graphics packages, so
Yeah.
we're really
trying
kicking it
up
up
our
too.
game, yeah.
And I also see John Kostyal is here in the Facebook chat, and he says, "Hey Sean, nice Michael Kaminskis cap."
That's right.
Yeah, how much is Kaminskis paying
I
you?
did. Mandy, our boss, was giving me a hard time. She was like, "Why are you always repping Michael Kaminskis everywhere you go?" And I'm like, "Well, it's just a comfortable hat. You know? It has nothing to do with Michael Kaminskis."
But he also does make great cups and balls. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
also
they
got a lot
do.
of good penguin downloads.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we've had
actually,
a few of them on this show.
we had one that was featured on the podcast too long ago. It was Klinger. That was a pretty solid little trick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, the only demo filmed in a McDonald's. Man. Like, it's a record.
Yeah, right. That is true.
And actually, also KFC.
He's cornering that market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the KFC, that's a card fold, right? Good
Yeah.
card fold, Mercury card fold.
All right, we gotta.
Well, we could talk about Michael Kaminskis downloads
Yeah.
all day long, right?
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next featured
number
product.
23. This is simply amazing.
Yeah, so this is not a physical product, but this is a project that we filmed with Roberto Giobbi. And what it is we had Roberto all the way out from Italy, and he came and performed a real show. You get the actual, you get the full show that you can watch. And he does 6 self-working card tricks that are so strong that they are, they're worth you doing, is the way to say it. 6, so we got, what are the ones we got? We got Follow the Leader, Gemini Calling, 7, Open Prediction, Cheers Mr. Galasso, and Further Forever. These are tricks that appear in Card College for the most part. I think some of them might not be in Card College, but all of them are strong. All of them require no sleight of hand, and all of them are showpieces, right?
Yeah.
And just to show you what we're talking about, I did put together a clip of one of the routines. It's a little bit longer, so let's take a look at the performance. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's definitely take a look at
And
this.
then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the project itself. So let's roll the performance of Further Than Ever. If you can't, we'll just talk about it.
It's
Simply
Simply
amazing. Sorry. My bad.
we have-
One day.
7. So look, I'm going to count down 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 7th card. Please take the card. Take the card, Sam, the 7th card. Look at it yourself. Yes, show it to our friends. Yes. Remember it. And then put it back where you took it from. Yes. We're going, look, that's going to be buried. That's going to be buried. It's somewhere in the pack. We have no idea where it is. You know, you're really going to shuffle the cards. Well, we even can cut the cards multiple times and no idea where it was. In former times, the magician would not try to find the card. Now, we don't do that any longer nowadays. We go a step further. We read minds. The card is now in your mind because you're thinking of it. Is that correct? Yes. I will penetrate that mind. I mean, you take your right forefinger, yes, and go like this. Take the thought, yes, take it on your forefinger. Give it to me. There you are. There you are. I see. There are. It's a black, it's a spade, it's the ace of spades. Is that correct? Is that correct? Yes? No, wait. That's, of course, I mean, it's one of the most difficult tricks that you can do in the entire realm of card magic. And that's where normally people would have, magicians would have stopped. But I go a step further. You know, we don't know where I have divined it. Now we're going to find it in the shuffle pack. We don't know where it is. How do we do that? We call it by its name. How do you call a card by its name? Now listen, I'm making the jokes here, right? Okay, you're very good. Thank you. Now, of course, we call it Larry. That's very good. We're going to call it out. No, but of course it's called Ace of Spades. So, it's a long legal procedure, to change names nowadays, and especially with playing cards. Oh, it's terrible. So we're going to do this after. So let's see Ace. We're going to spell, of course. That's the way you do it. You spell A-C-E of spades, S-P-A-D-E-S. Ace of spades, Believe it or not, it's exactly the ace of spades. No. I know that's when normally a magician would have stopped, in former times. Nowadays, in modern times, it's an evolution. We go a step further. You could have taken any other card. I mean, I don't know which one, a 5 or a king or what know I, Look, but you took an ace. So we snap over that card and look, and we have all aces. You seemingly can't get further than that, but I do. I just go like this, and I have the very best you can have. Here is a straight flush, exactly fitting the card. And you should think, well, it's not possible to go any further than that. But it's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, let's say you play poker, draw poker. How many more cards do I need to deal here? 4? So, okay, let's deal 1, 2, 3, 4. And with the ace of spades, what is the strongest, the best? A royal flush in hearts?
Spades.
Well, it has to be spades, of course, yes. Think of the mathematical improbabilities, and I have, look at that. It's have the king, we have the queen, we have the jack, and we have the 10. Nobody could have gone further, and I cannot go further. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What a solid trick.
Yeah, all the tricks are like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you could close. I mean, he chose to close with Further Than Ever, but I think you could close with any of them. The open prediction on here I really love. And Sean, we were talking just a second ago. I hadn't looked at this in quite a while, but then when I revisited it, I was like, man, this is one of the best card projects I think we've ever filmed.
There's so much good stuff that Joby comes out with and I think we were even talking about this off screen about how Joby is just simply one of the best communicators of teaching in our art.
He's simply one of the best teachers in Magic, period. Anything that you watch by him.
It's so good.
Sean, what stood out to you on this?
Well, I think like each one of these tricks, if you said nothing and just did the actions of performing the trick, they would be very, very strong. But what I think he brings to the table in this project is the presentational aspect, because his approach to presentation is probably just as good as his approach to sleight of hand, which I was just amazed by about how strong and they do not feel like self-working tricks at all.
Yeah, that's why you probably love it, right?
Competition level tricks.
Yeah, no sleight of hand in this. It's right up your alley.
Yeah, there you go.
It's interesting that even when you're learning something with no sleight of hand from Joby, it's still, there are concepts in there that blow your mind.
Oh,
they're so good.
Yeah.
Like really well layered and excellently textured tricks, so that you just go like, even though there's like not the stuff that I like to do, I still want to do them because the tricks are so satisfying.
Look, literally, if you like, I'm sure people out there just watch that clip and are like, man, I want to do that trick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I want to do that trick. I want to drop that in my next close-up show, right? Because like, it really is like, these tricks are so strong. We forget sometimes. You don't need to do everything. Like, all these special moves and gimmicks. That is a killer trick. And now you can get this. Look at the price on this.
$22.46, 25% off if you enter the promo code CoolBoxLive on this deal of the week. I mean, you are getting something real special.
And another thing I love is that, yes, the download's great. Like, you watch the performance, you watch the explanation. It's straightforward because it's Roberto. But also included is the show, front to back, like with no explanation. Right,
Eric,
so you can see transitions.
Yeah.
You did a card show, like a big card show around town, and like would this fit on that level?
Oh, I think so.
Like so you're basically buying a show for $22.46.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so when I did my show, the one thing that I had the advantage of was I used screens. But even then, like, that wasn't very expensive. I had the camcorder I had was like less than $100, and I ran that into a projector that I picked up for maybe $200 on Amazon. And just, if you light it right, like, it looks good. But having like a projector in your show like that, like most camcorders will go out, will send signal out and then into a projector. So if you wanted to do your own stage magic card show but project it real big, it's pretty easy to do that these days. You don't need to be a technical wizard.
Yeah, these tricks would fit the bill too for something like that.
Yeah, but you're getting a whole show for $22.
But even then, if you want to do these like in a formal set, like in a smaller venue where you're not having to do something like that, this is really the way to do it.
Yeah.
Solid.
No, great deal.
Love it. Let's move on. This is, I think, one of my favorite deals of the week.
And requests.
This is a request. So this is another one of those things where people watch the show and we ask, like, what do you want to see? What do you want discounts on? And overwhelmingly, people said books. And so here we are talking about The Aratology of Vanni Bossi by Hermetic Press. This is not just a deal of the week. What we're showing you right here, this is my copy. I brought this from this thing. This is an amazing book. Vanni Bossi was an Italian magician of serious note. Like, people traveled all around to go see this guy. As you're flipping through this here, what you're not seeing in this is the demo, but we don't have the audio in, so we can talk about this. But Stephen Minch collected this, and Ryan Schlutz is saying really nice things about this. Daryl is saying incredible things about this. You're going to see Roberto Giobbi says great things about this. John Lovett comes up. Here's Bill Kalush. If there's anybody who knows anything about this, Chad Long talking about this.
Just side note, because we want to make sure that everybody else knows this, that Ryan Schlutz, who you saw in that video, was the kid in the David Blaine clip when the quarter vanished off the back of his hand.
I think that we have to let everyone know that when you see David Blaine perform the Raven in the very first one, that kid is Ryan Schlutz.
Yeah, so just moving on. I just wanted to make sure the internet knows that.
Yeah. Let's actually, I want to go to the overhead here on this because I want to show you guys this book, which is really, so this is a beautiful book. Hermetic Press does really, really beautiful things on this.
I love it's always like unique in what they choose to do.
Really nicely bound. When you open it up, you're just greeted with this like really interesting inside jacket stuff. There's no dust jacket for this. This is the way the book comes.
Yeah, show them the edges of the pages.
The edges are really cool because it's bound.
Maybe put it vertical so that you
I think you can see.
It's like the book from Neverending Story. Or
Yeah, it's very much like journal bound. Stephen really collected some amazing material in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of highlights that I know people talk about. Like I know Brent Braun talks about that pencil through Bill all the time.
Yeah, so actually that was one of the things I was going to talk about in this. I almost brought it to perform.
Almost performed it.
Yeah, almost performed it because the thing that's so cool about this, and the pencil through Bill, trying to find it where, if you own this trick, I can't remember which one it is.
One of these days we'll remember to put bookmarks with the tricks for the books.
But the other thing is, look how beautifully illustrated it is.
Yep.
There's no illustration in here that is wasted. Every one of them is extremely clear. When you're starting to get into like, look at this, there's some really nice stuff with
is that muscle pass stuff?
with a ring.
Oh
no, this is all stuff with a ring. There's some really, really beautiful magic.
Is that Ring on Wand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Ring on Wand.
Somebody who was telling me about the Ring on Wand routine.
This is, I think this is his approach to a rubber deck. This is his approach to card on ceiling, which is really, really interesting.
Well, the thing you wanted to mention about Pencil Through Bill.
Yeah. So let's. This is an amazing book that if you are a student of magic, you should own this. The thing about the Pencil Through Bill that is so cool is it's real. You really borrow a dollar bill, you really take a pencil, you really put the pencil through the bill, you really show everyone that, you really remove it, then you really restore the bill.
Is that called magic?
Yes. It's insane. There's a special gimmick that you need to purchase for it, but I was able to get the gimmick on Amazon, and I did not believe that this was real. Because when you read the book, they basically they just tell you the method. They go, this is real. This is what you get. This is how it works, and then you do it. I got it, and it works.
Yeah.
I've done it in walk-around situations. It's amazing. There's the other thing I wanted to highlight from this book is there's a great trick that you see Spanish magicians do, where they basically they spread a deck of cards out and they run a glass over it, and then suddenly the card is like appears inside the glass. But then they also do a thing where the card is like up inside the mouth of the glass, and they go like this, and the card changes in the glass. For years, I was looking for that trick. And it was just always one of these things where they're like, they just never wrote it down. It's just like you learn it if you're Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's written up in this book.
Interesting.
And this book is so good.
Loaded. Absolutely loaded with stuff.
Yeah.
And now you can get it, for under $50.
That's a crazy deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm honestly a little shocked that we're able to offer a discount on a book that's this good.
We're working hard on this show.
Yeah.
And every week we got guests now. We got good deals on books. We got some other deals I'm excited about.
This was Sean Do you have any highlights from this book?
Yeah, I think like we didn't. I don't know if the audio played from the demo, but I think it's important to watch that because the testimonials that people are giving are off the charts.
Yeah.
Like that's what I noticed when I first saw it, and that's what made me get the book and actually look into it. But I've just kind of dipped my toes in that water because it's pretty deep. It's some serious stuff there. But
Yeah.
listen to those quotes from the guys. I mean, they're not being nice. They really love this, and they're heavy hitters that are talking about it. So.
There's stuff that your favorite magicians do in
Yeah.
this that Vanny invented, and it's really good. His philosophy on magic is really interesting. His approach to it, some of the gimmicks are just like wildly smart. There's a card in Can of Peanuts that is just amazing.
Yeah. No,
And he
there's so
doesn't
much good
come
material.
up. He doesn't have stuff come out very often. It's not like, you know.
Well, largely because he's passed away. So it's gonna be a bit before we see that. Yeah, this Stephen collected this from a lot of Vanny's like personal writings and notes and things like that. Super good book. Shall we move on?
Let's do it.
Let's move
We
on.
have a special one, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted Sean to be here this week. It's exciting to be able to offer a great deal on a great product, one of Penguin's signature products. And we just kind of revamped it. You know, like I'm not even sure a lot of people knew that we did, but we redid Cypher a couple years ago. So yes, it is the Cypher Pro Kit.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to be able to get it for under $40 right now.
Wow.
Sean, tell us what Cypher is.
Well, Cypher is an impression device, but like this is what I tell people. You know, your family, your friends, your significant other, they may fail you, but Cypher never will. You know, 'cause not only just the actual device, it works no matter what. There's no fear when you give it to a spectator that it's going to work. You're going to get the information that you need. And there's no fear that it's not going to hit really hard as far as the impact of the effect. What's great about Cypher is that there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can even have them right on the card box and then wipe off the dry erase marker, so there's no evidence of it. Because you know you're giving such this great gift of having all the knowledge you want within seconds of them performing. It opens up the door to so many performance opportunities to create routines, and just the possibilities are just endless. It fits in your wallet, in your card box, anything. It's just so versatile.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest product in Magic as far as like what you get.
Yeah, what you get out of it. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like if people ask for one product, like what do you recommend? This is the product to get. Like
I think what's really interesting about this is that it actually Ling Li just showed up, brought this up in the chat. It comes complete with Nick and Brent's awesome routines plus teaching materials, and I think this is something that doesn't come up very often.
No,
but something that's really cool that we do here at Penguin.
Yeah, number one, if you own Cypher already, I'll tell you what is different inside of here. But if you own Cypher already, your instructional video has changed, whether you're aware of it or not. I know we emailed about it when it came up, but you know all that stuff goes by the wayside. The tutorial that we put together is myself and the routines that I perform with it. B. Smith, and I'll tell you about one of his routines in just a second, and Brent Braun. Arguably, nobody's performed this more than like Brent, Sean, Robert, and myself. And we just piled like, what is this almost 10 years old, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost probably 12 years
So
old.
Actually,
about a decade's worth of knowledge into this.
I remember when this came out because it was actually Sean. I think it was actually the first time you and I met was at Magi Fest, and you guys had like just released this.
So one of the things to know here, and I guess Popo, you can hit the overhead. I'm not going to put the actual material on there, but what you should know is that it doesn't come with one piece anymore. It comes with a piece that's sized for a playing card, a piece that's sized for the special wallet that comes in here, and also a piece that's sized for a notepad. So you don't even have to cut it, right? It's all sized perfectly for there. And I believe the one for the notepad is just a little bit bigger, so you would cut that one to size if you
Yeah.
wanted to, or just don't put it in a
I
notepad.
think it just depends on the size notepad you're using, or if you want to put it in the back of a book behind a
Yeah.
dust jacket. It's just,
And then
yeah.
the other thing that it comes with now, and this was by popular demand, of course, is it no longer comes with the Expo marker, it comes with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to teach you how to turn the wallet into a peak wallet. We're going to teach you how to turn a deck of cards into a impression device. We're going to teach you how to turn a notepad into an impression device.
Yeah.
The crazy routine on here that is brand new, because B. Smith, the creator of Cypher,
Yeah.
he shows you what he's been doing with it. And you could kind of see it in that video that was up
Is
there.
it the one with the image on the girl's arm?
Look, he figured out how to turn Cypher into like a double cross style routine, where the drawing that the spectator draws, you do a drawing duplication with, so you mentally divine the drawing, and then the drawing that they draw ends up on their body.
That's bonkers.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Come on.
That's insane.
Come
Well,
on.
Nick, your routine's no slouch either. I mean, because I think what's great about it is it justifies having the deck there and having it all self-contained and I mean, I think there's no wrong way to go with Cypher.
No,
Literally
so-
every routine I've seen someone do with it is awesome. But I actually recommend your routine.
I've had it for years. The book test that I do in my show, when the impression device that I was starting to use started failing,
Right. I
switched
remember you were like, I'm always having issues with this.
Yeah, and I switched over to Cypher because it worked. It was
Yeah.
super reliable.
It just works.
Yeah. It's a really, really solid. I mean, this is more than just a trick. This is a utility, like, kit.
I love
It's
how
really what
like
it is.
unintrusive it is as well.
Yeah.
Like, I say stuff like this all the time on the stream now, but like, if I'm prepared, if I'm out doing walk around and I'm gonna bring Cypher, it's not hard to bring Cypher out. Like, it just lives in my card box. But it's like, am I gonna bring some Post-it notes out with me and a marker? Like, how committed am I tonight? That card routine that Sean mentioned is probably the strongest card trick I can do.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Because it's a mental divination and like a name divination, and just the way that it's structured is really good. So good that I actually lectured on it in my recent lecture. Like,
Yeah.
I was just trying to put together stuff that I actually, really perform, and I'm like, well, even though it's taught on this download,
Yeah.
I was like, well, it does transcend into my everyday work. Not my everyday work. I do have to be prepared a little bit, but like, this is something I would do to really impress somebody.
It's the other thing is Cypher's durable.
Oh, yeah,
which
it
is
lasts
like
forever.
The only reason you're going to need to buy Cypher again is because you go, oh, you know what? I want to put it in this now.
Yeah, so if you already have it and you already have your routine,
Yeah.
go check out the new video because it is in your account and
Yeah.
you can learn all the different routines that we've been doing with it. What have you been doing with it lately, Sean?
Well, yeah, it's funny. We were talking about how like rusty everyone is from not performing and like having fear of going out and doing stuff. And I actually don't have tons of that fear because if I have Cypher, I know I'm going to be bailed out. You know what I mean? That's what I like it for. So I always close at the end with it. But I just noticed the price on it, which is crazy. But we've never discounted. I don't think we've ever discounted Cypher.
Well,
as far
yeah,
as I can
especially
know.
the Pro version. I
Yeah.
think this is the
Yeah.
first time. Yeah.
Super.
No, great deal. And
super good.
I get, we're going to be talking about Christmas soon.
Yeah.
If anything, I mean, Pop Gun I would recommend, but
Oh, yeah.
Cypher right now, I mean, this is a complete kit.
Yeah.
You're going to learn a lot of great mentalism in there.
It's so good. Shall we move on?
I don't know. Final word on Cypher, Sean?
I mean, it's a must-have.
Yeah.
If anything's a must-have, it's that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last one of the deals of the week. This is from my good buddy John George. This is Beyond Perfect ESP. This is really good.
I love this
I
trick.
remember when John was here filming this. Essentially what happens is you've got a packet of ESP cards, a red packet and a blue packet, and they put down a card, and then you put down a card, and then they put down a card, and then you put down a card, and when you turn them over at the end, they all match
They all
perfectly.
match.
And I think there's probably people in the stream watching right now going, oh, big deal, right? Like you just like, oh, you do this and
Well,
what it
there's
is.
like a lot of methods out there.
Yeah.
None of this good.
No, because what's so amazing here is, maybe you missed this when I said it, you put down the
Yeah.
first card, and then your spectator puts it down, and then you move first every time, and it still ends up perfect.
Yeah.
And I sat. So John performed this to me. John George performed this to me. I've known John George for a long time. And so he comes here to do his lecture, and then you guys go out and film this with him. And I go, oh, what were you filming? And he shows me this trick. And I said, don't tell me how it works. Let me figure it out. Because it was that him putting it down first that messed with me.
Yeah.
And I think I sat for a week before I finally called him up and was like, all right, you got to tell me.
It's a great method.
The method is so good.
So good.
Yeah.
We got the product over there.
Yeah,
You can bring that
absolutely.
out. I mean, it's just a fun little baggie. It's
Yeah.
going to come with all the cards that you need.
Comes with everything you need inside here. This is a really great thing to throw in your walk around. If you've got it could even fit in your wallet almost, because you don't need.
I mean, it's a good decent amount of cards.
It is a decent amount of cards. You know, it's
10, a little extra 10. But
it's about 10 cards or so, however many cards are in an ESP pack, and double that. But it's a really, really, really solid trick. And it's got the nice bicycle back, which is also nice, because I don't know about you. One of the things that's always put me off from ESP cards is that they don't look like other cards. And there's something about getting an ESP card that has the bicycle back that is really, it makes it a little more legit.
Yeah, well, I guess we should also say that it is, you are going to need to use, you can't use your own ESP card. I mean, you could, you're just going to have you're going to have to be a little crafty.
Yeah.
And that's not that difficult.
You would be able to do this if you have some ESP cards at home and you're a magician who's got. If you're a magician,
number one,
who
you're
has
going to
ESP
need
cards,
2 different types of sets, because as you see in the demo, he's using red and blue. That's important.
Yes, because you've got to be able to clarify whose cards are whose, because it's not one of those situations where, you scoop up all the packets, and then, the packets are separated on the table. You saw in that clip where actually, Pope, I think we even have a performance of Beyond ESP.
Well, we do.
I did not put. You know what? You know what happened was
Not at that price.
I think I was watching this last night pretty late, and I forgot to render it out, which is.
Well, Sean, what's your experience with ESP tests like this?
Well, that particular one was pretty shocking, actually, because when he came out, and those reactions are not typical for an ESP. ESP.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they're not typical. So ESP tricks are good. The matching ones, they're all good. The things like Symbologic and stuff like that, all those are great. But this just had the punch of a guy a person that works a lot and knows how to get great reactions. And that trick, the cleanliness of the method, is a huge part of the responsibility of the method can take a credit for how good those reactions are, because it's just so direct. There's not a lot of you're not talking about J.B. Rhine and all this stuff and psychology and everything. You're just laying a card down, they lay a card down, cards on the table, and you just show that everything matches. It's just perfect.
Yeah, it kind of benefits from somebody that's not really a mentalist per se.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this is definitely like a magician ending, where it's there's no equivocate, there's no you were so close or one off. I mean, it's just uppercuts.
Yeah, he's showing somebody a card trick, right?
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Ling Li in the chat is pointing out Beyond Perfect ESP can be adapted to be done with poker cards too, which is something important. If you wanted to add this into your walk-around set, but ESP cards wouldn't fit you, once you know the method and you get the special gimmicks, you'll be able to do this with any set of poker cards. You could do it with ace through 6 or ace through 10, or you could even do it with the royal flush.
The gimmick that you'll get would work with regular cards.
Yeah.
I think he explains it in the DVD, maybe, or in
Yeah, I
the
believe he
download or
does.
whatever.
I think he might. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really good trick.
And for a great price. Look at this price.
Yeah, $14.96. It's $10 off. It's more than $10 off. That's a silly price.
No, I've been excited. It came
Where'd
across.
the 96 come from?
Yeah, 25% off. Because on the site it's already marked down to something else. It's marked down to something, and then I think it's marked down to $19.95, and then marked down from there.
Okay.
So, but what I wanted to say was, This was on the Top 20 Countdown show, I believe. This trick came out.
Oh, yeah.
I think we had it on that show, I don't know, a month or a half ago or something.
Yeah, it was.
And when it did, I was like, man, I forgot. This trick's good. Why am I not doing this?
John George is an international champion of close-up magic,
Yeah.
and it shows.
And now
'cause
it's here
dude works.
again. And I'm going to say, this week, I know that we're going to talk about it in a bit, but for me, this is one of the tricks that I'm going to take away from this week, because I really love the method on this. I loved it when I first saw it, and then I forgot about it, and man, this is a great trick.
Super, super good. Well,
John, you got anything last words on ESP here?
No, I mean, just everything you've said. I mean, it's the reactions. You watch the demo.
Yeah,
it
you're right.
tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Like, that's nothing cleverly edited or anything like that. It's just, he just knocked it out of the park. I mean, I remember we film a lot of stuff here, and some tricks are easier than others. That one was like, we're done in like 20 minutes because he just fried people left and right. So
Killer.
it was just awesome.
Well, let's, Mr. Popa, can we maybe jump back to go to the downloads scene there, and let's take a look at the menu again, and look at everything that we talked about here. Oh, go to the start of the show. Go to the start of the show, and hey, look at that fancy graphic there. I think we can close that graphic
I'm not sure what
down.
that means, but you don't check this out now. Becca?
While we're doing all
just
this,
say
Mighty
stop somewhere
Pooter
for me.
says that
Drop it on. Now
Mighty
watch this,
Pooter
fellas. Court, I'm going to bury that twice.
says
okay?
that
There's one.
he was been wanting to get Cypher since he saw it at Penguin Max. So, because he saw Brent Braun lecture on it. And yes, Mighty Pooter, you are correct. Brent did lecture on Cypher. It was a big part of his lecture. So yeah, spring on it if you don't have it already, because that we had that at a really, really strong price. We have everything that we talked about here tonight. Everything on this list you can get for 25% off on checkout with the promo code CoolBoxLive.
Yep, it is CoolBox Live, all one word. You can do it in lowercase. We've got a whole bunch of really great stuff going on here. And we got Bound by Joel Dickinson, Very Fair by the Other Brothers, Change for Five by David Regal, Pseudo by Chris Rollins, Hide the Color Ball by Chris Rollins, Blindsided by Oz Perlman, 10-Card Poker by Luke Germain, Head-to-Head Poker by Paul Gordon, Dark Triumph by Nathan Kranzo, Fortune Tarot by Woody Aragon, Clutch by Oz Perlman, Pulse Rate by Matt Mello, then of course the low price lectures of
love the
Jared Kopp
lectures.
Live, Bob Cassidy Live, Harry Anderson Live, and of course the Deals of the Week, Frankendoe by Roddy McGee, Simply Amazing by Roberto Giobbi, The Artology of Verity Boss by Stephen Mink, Cypher Pro by Robert Smith, and of course Beyond Perfect ESP by John George. Nick, we do this every week. What are you going to buy?
Well, the best thing I saw, I loved a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much value on Cypher, but there's so much value in Simply Amazing. That whole project is so good. Sean was right when he said it. It's $22, and it's a whole show that has no sleight of hand, and you get those Roberto Giobbi presentations. I'm gonna go back, rewatch that. That's my deal of the week. What about you?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to go with Pop Gun by Chad Long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It is on sale right now.
I know it's brand new, but it is on sale, and it's such a good trick.
That trick's so good.
It's
really
it's
is.
just stupid good.
It really is.
I'm even looking at this show that we're about to go do in Utah, and I'm like, is that the end of the show?
Oh, it's
Is
so
it a
good.
closer? Is it gonna close the show?
No, do it. And we also got one more person to ask.
Sean,
Yeah.
what are you gonna buy?
Well, I mean, I spent all this time saying if I recommend one product, it's going to be Cypher, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go with what Nick said, and because there is so much value in Simply Amazing, and you really are getting, I mean, I watched it again today, you're getting an entire, professional level show that can be done with just a normal deck of cards, no sleight of hand. For $22, if you're buying it today.
No, it's killer.
It's
killer.
just you can't beat that. It's just.
I agree.
I see, before we leave, I just want to say I see John Costial there in the chat. He says, now I have to explain to my wife why I went over my Penguin Magic budget again. You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome, John.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Thanks very
Yes.
much for your purchases. Thanks very much to our special guest this week, the Magic Crasher, and of course, Sean Dunn. We're going to have more guests in the future. Huge thanks to Nick Popa this week for running the stream and keeping us going on. Big thanks to my good buddy here, Nick Locapo, for co-hosting with me. My name is Eric Tate. We'll see you